And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. We hope you enjoyed those lovely duct tapes. We apologize for the delay, but we are finally here with our final series of the night, with our final qualifying match.
Welcome, everyone. Yes, as we see, MightyKiwi, as I said before, did indeed beat Rise 2-0. Unfortunately, we could not watch that series, but fortunately, we have at least one Zerg that maybe still can make the top 8. So exciting times, like, possibly. Don't get ahead of ourselves.
Possibly exciting times. We can maybe have one Zerg in the tournament. And speaking of, here he is. Everyone in the chat, he needs your energy. He is the Zerg Hope right now, the New Zealand Zerg player representing Root Gaming. It is MightyKiwi.
And spawning in the bottom right position, it is the Terran player, sending 2 SCVs out on the map. In the red, representing Robin is RunaMoK.
Oh boy, we have a long series ahead of us, or maybe a very short series. As you were saying, we have 2 SCVs out here. We have a 3rd SCV behind this as well for a 3 racks. MightyKiwi is on the way though with that Overlord.
Yeah, and he's actually going to scout it. Oh, yes, he does indeed. Kind of a curious place to drop the 2 racks. That makes a lot more sense now. So this is a build that's been evolving a bit in the meta. The way it works, like, is you scout the 2 barracks. You think it's a 2 racks. You put it in a bit of an obvious position. So your opponent Zerg, you know, they underreact, or they react adequately towards the 2 racks, but you've actually got 3. So interesting to see. You know, RunaMoK, he probably knew he was going to get scouted with these 2. That's why their 3rd racks is later back. But yeah, I can't wait to see how MightyKiwi reacts to this situation, and what he's going to, you know, if he actually uses enough units to hold this.
Yeah, I remember casting a very similar game. I think it was in ESL Asia, and I was discussing with Asher, bro, how maybe Zerg players, upon scouting 2 raxes, if there are Overlord pillars like we do see here on Cosmic, there are 2 kind of close by, it may be worth to just commit the Overlord to sending it further just to confirm whether or not there is a 3rd rax, if there is a safe place to be. But as you were saying, here we go. We do have the bunkers being thrown down here, and MightyKiwi, he's looking to try and save this natural.
Yeah, no, and I don't really like the way RunaMoK's going in. He brought the 3rd SCV. He's brought 3 Marines. It's a bit more obvious seeing the 3 SCVs that it's going to be, you know, 3 barracks. Unless you're doing a huge kind of mind game to bring SCV from home too. But with the 2 racks, you kind of want to be as conservative with your units and be economical as possible. And I think, yeah, like with the Queen out in the spine, I think Dave's just going to hold, and he didn't even lose the drone.
Yeah,
wow.
He didn't even lose the drone. RunaMoK, I agree. I think he just pulled the trigger a little bit too early. Ooh, even another Marine going down. This proxy 3 racks has kind of fallen on its face. The bug, oh my god, even targeting down another one of those SCVs.
Yeah, and the thing is, RunaMoK, he's pulling the boys because he's fully committed here. David's still, MightyKiwi making some extra spines. He must know that there's going to be quite a bit of a commitment here from our Terran play. He's got 2 queens. Queens have armor, which is great for tanking as well with the spine. But yeah, I think MightyKiwi's going to hold this one.
Yeah, I think he's going to hold as well. I mean, the boys are here. RunaMoK is going to go for one last-ditch effort to try and break the natural base, but we have 2 more spines behind this. MightyKiwi is just preparing so well. I imagine he did confirm that the workers were coming, and we'll see if RunaMoK can make some magic happen.
Yeah, good spine position here. RunaMoK's super all-in, as you can see. All the cities pulled. Yeah, he's just buying time. He's actually going to root the spines up. Wow, David being a bit aggressive. Going to jump in, man. There's so many wings. Like, I think he's just going to pull this up.
Yeah, he gets a full surround, and every single one of these Marines are all going to be focused down. Only things left are the workers. GG gets called, and MightyKiwi shuts down the proxy and takes the first game.
Yeah, that was quite an incredible hold, honestly. Didn't expect it to go that smoothly for him. Yeah, wow, okay. David's just a god, even as a dad.
Oh my god, even as a dad, he is still a godge puppy. And yeah, solid defense there by MightyKiwi. Again, RunaMoK, it was a great proxy itself to hide the 3 racks, like the positioning, I mean, but the execution was a little bit lacking there in the end.
It was a convincing hold on both accounts, but keep in mind that I'm guessing that was Cosmic Sapphire was David. Sorry, MightyKiwi's pick. I'm gonna call him David all the time. Like,
I know.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. It was MightyKiwi's pick most likely, and it's not. Even though RunaMoK was a bit of a, the shot didn't work out that much. He's not down, not out. Maybe just wants to go into map number 2 and feel a bit more comfortable than playing on a large map such as Cosmic against Zerg.
Yeah, and speaking of, we go from a large map to a small map, as game number 2 is going to be on Waterfall.
Waterfall, there you go. It's a bit more of a close quarters map, like. If Waterfall was a Call of Duty map, you'd be using a shotgun or a submachine gun. There you go.
Thanks for that. Thanks. I value the COD insight.
Welcome. It's all I've been playing for the past month. So.
Oh god.
But yeah, here we go. I'm going to predict this map to be a little bit more open than the last one. You can't really get more open than a Marine SCV, but yeah. Let's reload into game number 2 here. David has the advantage.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised, as we do have, as we are now progressing from the first game, if MightyKiwi was the one to turn to tables, assuming that RunaMoK would open a lot more standard after failing a proxy racks. We could even see an earlier pool, but here we go. We are getting into game number 2.
Game number 2, indeed. We are light, and may I say, spawning in the blue. They're both blue, by the way. In the top right, it is representing Clan Robin, Australian Terran player. Give it up for RunaMoK.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Waterfall, we have the New Zealand Zerg player representing Root Gaming. It is MightyKiwi. And he's not just the New Zealand hope. He's also the Zerg hope, as we had 4 invites already for ANZ Champs. They were all Terran and Protoss, and so far of the qualified players, also just Terran and Protoss.
Yeah. It's yeah, I won't say anything like it. No. Yeah, there's been a very strong, traditionally there was a very dominant presence of Zergs in the scene. That has kind of evolved over the years, especially with Legacy of the Void's releases. Top players have dropped off. You've got players like Patreus, Pig, Moonglade, they've all kind of moved on. And these players who are kind of a bit, the tier below are really started to refine their play. And we had a lot of Terran and Protoss players pop up. Probe has been around for a long time, leading the line. But even players like Pezazor, RunaMoK as well. MightyKiwi too, who was... I'd say, yeah, he's below Patreus, but he's now the premier player in New Zealand, despite not playing seriously. There's a lot of really strong players in the region, and a lot of them are, as time has gone on, refine their play to the level that they, their dedication's paid off. Yeah,
it really has, and it's really cool to see them rise up over time and be able to display that skill in ANZ Champs. I'm just, a little bit selfish as a caster. I would just love to cast a Zerg. That's all that's all I want in life.
You and me both, buddy.
There's gonna be so many TVTs, Papi, in the main event. There's gonna be so many. Oh god.
I can't wait to put together all the TVT highlights.
True. You're gonna be handling social media. You're not wrong, Papi. You're not wrong. Oh god, but we'll see where this all goes here, as again RunaMoK is still a very powerful opponent. We saw him go all the way to the ace match against Starduck, and I wouldn't be surprised if the same thing happens here against MightyKiwi as we get into the game. And in the other game so far, everything looking pretty standard.
Pretty standard indeed. I would say, however, we had a Marine open up. No what's it called? No Reaper. What this tells me is RunaMoK likely might just swap the factory and the barracks over. He might go for a no, it's a Widowmine actually. Wow. I was thinking he's going to be a bit aggressive, maybe poke the third base with Marines and then Hellion run by into the natural. wing speed finishes. As we know, wing speed being delayed has been a bit more meta as things go, but no, it's just a 1-1-1. Looks like it might be a Widowmine Marine drop. What do you think of this kind of strat as we have a Hellion come to scout? It's not very potent, but I guess if it catches your opponent off guard, it can do a bit of damage. Like, what do you think about Widowmine drop this early on?
Yeah, it's very unorthodox. It's not very standard whatsoever. We don't see it too often, and MightyKiwi is going to catch wind of this as he slips in with his Overlord. Looking at his vision, he does see the Widowmine, so he will confirm. Yeah, it's because it's so unorthodox. I like it. I would like it more if it didn't get scouted. Like, that's that's the thing, because it is a little bit out of left field. MightyKiwi now is going to be able to respond both like in game and mentally as well for the potential of this mine drop. The other interesting thing is that I think it makes sense on Waterfall. We didn't see a 3cc opener. You know, RunaMoK is going to be that much more aggressive here, but upon being scouted, I don't know how aggressive he really can be.
Yeah, I'd say the moment that build kind of got scouted, especially when you see how clear it was, you know, a few Marines, a Widowmine, a non-reacted Starport, but hold that thought, like, it doesn't matter. David scouts it, his response is going to be just to Bane Bust, and
yeah.
This could be devastating.
That's the thing, right? I mean, the Banelings are going to roll on in. There's no Widowmine at home. There's no tank at home. There's no Banshee either to defend. Widowmine drop is going to go into the main base of MightyKiwi, and Widowmine's going to be able to do some damage, but this will be all cleaned up. The medevac is forced away, and now the Baneling bust is coming in.
The bust does indeed come in. Davey's going to bust the second time. He's kind of derping a bit, but there we go now. But there's a lot of Hellions now. And it looks like, yeah, no, he's going to force back. And MightyKiwi, wow, and a kind of dire change of events. He's now down 10 workers against the Terran play, which is not where you want to be as Zerg. Kind of surprised that turned out the way it did.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw, but MightyKiwi, he went in with his first wave of Banelings, he busted the wall, and then he waited a couple of seconds before he reacted with his main army to go up, and RunaMoK was able to barely wall off again just in time. So a little bit of sloppy execution there by MightyKiwi is gonna set him behind.
Yeah, I did see it late. I just didn't want to say anything. You're focused on the bottom left, so good for you for owning up.
Okay,
but yeah, no, that was very weird, and yeah, getting the depot roll off too. It also bought a little bit of time to put the extra sick and get Hellions out to hold the push. Banshee going to come in. Wow, just move commanded on top of the third base. Very curious there by RunaMoK. A bit of a mistake.
Yeah, he did get one drone, I believe, but only one, and the Banshee does end up going down. So because of that, you know, we're kind of trading blow for blow here. MightyKiwi, he ended up failing when it came to his Bane Bust, but now he's droning up. The Banshee also kind of didn't really do too much either, so RunaMoK is going to be forced to, I was going to say transition inside his third CC, but no, he starts up 2 more Raxes behind this.
Yeah, we even saw a bunker being complete, I dare say, probably because there was a lack of drone scatter with that Banshee. In its haste to get away at the third base, so RunaMoK might not just know how ahead he is. Of course, MightyKiwi is up now in the Harvest account, but when you're going up against, you know, Terran with mules, it's not like the hugest thing. But there's a lot of barracks in the ground. Looks like, what's that, 1, 2, 3, 5 racks? Yeah, looks like RunaMoK's going to be going for a bit of a devastating timing here. MightyKiwi really have Bane speed in timing, but that is a decided factor on the defense for the hold. Being quite aggressive here with these Hellions as well.
Yeah, he's pushing on forward. You know, he's got that Raven. You know, RunaMoK, he does listen to the Twitch chat. You know, just make a Raven to clear up all the creep. It makes sense. Kappa. But yeah, I do feel like he's going he's being very committed here. Dare say all in here with these 5 Raxes. He even goes for an armory as well. He's only got 1 NG Bay for +1. He's not really looking to get into even more upgrades. So with that armory, he will be able to morph in all those Hellions that he saved earlier into those Hellbats.
He will indeed. That's the advantage you get of being conservative with your Hellions. Yes, they don't really trade the greatest. They don't scale as well as, say, Zerglings once you need them for your big push, but they do soak up some Banes, and they do kind of provide a bit of splash damage to soak up your opponent's hit points on their Zerglings. But yeah, push coming in. Bane speed not yet finished. Some banelings on the ground for MightyKiwi, but I'm not sure if this is going to be enough to deal with this push just yet. It's a lot of units, like.
Yeah, it's a lot of units. A lot of the creep is being receded right now. We have banelings on the way, but baneling's speed is still a ways off. It's not going to be ready in time for this fight.
Yeah, and even a Seeker Missile going off to shred a bit of the arm. Does it give minus armor? If you have 0 armor, do you get like -1?
I don't think it goes into the negatives. I don't know if that's how it works, but
I think it does. I'm gonna hold that to you. I'm so petty. But yeah, Light. MightyKiwi is actually gonna get +1/+1, and maybe he can with this surround. He's gonna come in.
Yeah, he goes for this full surround here. Baneling's speed does finish up, and it looks like he will be able to crash in past all those Hellbats, get on top of the tanks. The tank count is going to be completely reset, but the Bio Army survives.
The Bio Army does survive as well. There's a good number of Lings to kind of push in here, with these reinforcing Marines, and actually the Liberators being popped off. These Banes aren't ready yet to help hold this, and RunaMoK might have broken the back of MightyKiwi here, but some Banes do finish, like 13 more on the way. Can MightyKiwi hold? I'm not sure if he can.
Yeah, the Marines are getting on top of the morphing in. Baneling's able not complete here. MightyKiwi has nothing left. He's got a handful of Lings remaining. GG gets called, and RunaMoK fights back and takes game number 2.
GG is called. Yes. Pretty interesting game there. Kind of looking at, like, it's easy for us, like, looking back in retrospect. Also, we've got like the whole bird's eye view of the whole map, but it might have been better for such a kind of non-committal attack like that RunaMoK is doing. Might have been better to just go for just a light defense. I don't like. Do you even need extra queens to deal with a Widowmine drop?
I don't think you do.
I don't know the purpose of it. Is it just to like bait Lings and then kill them? Or?
Yeah. Look, there's a reason why a lot of people don't do it.
It's to bait you into bait. It's to bait you into bane busting.
Yeah, it's exactly. Hey, it worked. You know what can we do, right? Like, it worked. It's supposed to bait you into bane busting, and he's got like 10 Hellions waiting for you, Papi. Yeah. You could argue maybe. I don't think we disliked the idea of bane busting when we saw MightyKiwi go for it, just because there were only a handful of Hellions at home to defend at the time. But yeah, the execution of it was a little bit lacking there. Maybe he didn't commit as hard either, and from that moment it did feel like MightyKiwi was struggling to catch back up after putting himself behind.
Yeah, at the time it did seem like a good idea, because your opponents they delay their Hellion count due to reactoring out some Marines doing that Widowmine, but maybe he just busted a little bit too late. Maybe it wasn't the strongest executed attack actually, as we saw with the Banes going in early and then the second roll off. But either way, RunaMoK did manage to hold with the limited resources he had, and he made it look not too. Even though his drop across the map didn't get too much done, it wasn't that. It was pretty comfortable hold all in all.
Oh yeah, definitely. Pretty comfortable hold, and now we are tied up 1 apiece, and now we are getting into the ace match. Into game number 3. It's a best of 5, of course. My mistake. Also, I'm horrible at this. I keep forgetting that I'm the one making the lobbies. So, so I'm like chilling. I'm chilling here talking, and I'm like, oh right, they're waiting on me. Oh boy, as game 3 is going to be on Data Under the Sea.
Data Sea Under the Sea Light. But yeah, we're going to be going into game number 3 now. It is 1-1. Technically, it's a best of 3 from now on. Yeah, do you think from either of these 2 first games, an opponent, player's going to be feeling a certain way about their chances? Or?
I hope not. They've been pretty crazy games. Like, I don't know how much we can really learn from each other from game 1 and game 2, but we'll see as we get into game 3.
We will see indeed. Spawning in the bottom left position, it is the player currently teamless. He does have the root tag. The new father is, let's have a little baby now. It is New Zealand's MightyKiwi.
And And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Data Under the Sea, we have the Australian Terran player, the man looking to crush the dreams of all the Zerg players out there and make sure not a single one gets into ANZ Champs. It is RunaMoK.
Alright. Data C. Pretty big map. Lots on the sides, lots of bases. I'd say if the game goes into the later stages, we'll probably see some, contesting going on the top left and bottom right. But first, you need to earn that privilege. You need to expand, take your early bases, spread your creep if you're Terran, solidify your bases if you're spread your creep if you're Zerg, solidify your base if you're Terran. What do you expect to see here from the Terran standpoint? Do you think RunaMoK feels comfortable going into the later stages of the game versus MightyKiwi, who has some fantastic creep spread? Do you think he's going to throw out another creative build? And again, what do you think from MightyKiwi? Do you think he's going to feel comfortable going for a macro game, or want to try something a bit cheesy like last game?
Yeah, I feel like that's a pretty interesting question, especially when it comes to RunaMoK, because when I think of RunaMoK, I don't think of him as a very cheesy player. Like, that's not like my impression. But I do think that he knows when his opponent is maybe a little bit more favored. I do think that's why we've seen some pretty aggressive styles. Both game 1 and game 2. Game 1 he proxied, game 2 he went for a pretty strong 2-base timing. It all kind of makes sense just because MightyKiwi, I feel like historically has a lot more accomplishments. He's been traveling internationally, he's been part of bigger teams, and even nowadays, he's been grinding a lot. Before, of course, becoming a father, he's been pretty active streaming. So I don't think RunaMoK is looking for a late game. Likewise, I don't think MightyKiwi, just stylistically, he's not looking for a late game either. It's just kind of the way that he is,
Yeah, I certainly agree. I think MightyKiwi, he just kind of takes it, when he's not being aggressive, he kind of takes it just case by case basis. Generally, he does feel quite comfortable macroing. He does have good ZVT. I'd say it's one of his better matchups. One of the more he feels comfortable in as well. I know he doesn't mind 12 pulls early on versus Terran, as Protoss and Zerg, but he doesn't have the confidence in straight up games against those two compared to, say, against Terran, which is a lot more mechanical. He has some superior mechanics. So we'll have to see how he approaches here. Meanwhile, again, we see from Terran player, no Reaper. It was a Marine opener. Hellions this time. Could this be? Was it a gas first light, or was it just a standard Marine?
I believe it was a gas first. I believe, and we can see once again, RunaMoK, he's so peculiar. He's going for a 1-1-1. He makes 2 Hellions and then immediately starts Widowmine production. Yeah,
that is quite interesting. The Viking as well to kind of snide the scouting as MightyKiwi comes in now to get the scout off. Good time to come in, 3:45 or so, because by the time you see the Stargate, so the Starport, if it's non-reacted or non-tech labs,
Widowmines are being hidden.
That pops from it. Widowmines are indeed being hidden. Good pop up. I think maybe it would be worth showing the Widowmines in this case light, because if you see the Widowmines and you see the something
main bust, yeah.
yeah. But actually, he's going to do that idea still. He's going to get a medevac for a Widowmine drop, but it's just a little bit more here and there. Showing the Viking helps hide that factor as well.
Yeah. So MightyKiwi this time is going to be in the dark. This time he doesn't know what RunaMoK is up to, and RunaMoK is very committed. He's going for a 4 Widowmine drop and an armory behind it as well. This is something that you don't see quite often against Zerg players, especially because compared to something like Protoss, Zerg do have an easier time when it comes to getting detection. Spores are already on the way, at least one at the natural base. But this could still deal some damage, He can still somehow catch MightyKiwi off guard.
He can indeed. Actually, was that a Ling Scout getting into the
Overlord?
The base house? Oh, was it Overlord? Another Overlord?
Yeah.
Man, he really wants to confirm what's going on, but yeah, we see here Widowmine drop coming in. Shh, does it just avoid this overlord? No, it does get scattered. MightyKiwi hasn't connected his main and natural. Uncle Ben will not be happy with that. And yeah, the Widowmine's coming in right now, like.
Oh, the Widowmines do drop in towards the main base. 2 shots are going to be going off, getting only 1 drone apiece, so not the most amount of damage. And now MightyKiwi has recognized, hold on, they haven't been revealed here. I need detection to deal with this.
Snaps one Widowmine, does lose a couple Zerglings, but he's going to be a bit of a cleanup. All in all, you know, not the worst. Only losing 2 workers, actually quite a good hold there. I did lose a little bit of mining time in the main, but no, good responses there, especially considering the late scout by MightyKiwi.
Yeah, a really great response, not just the late scout, but also because the investment into this drop, it wasn't just 4 Widowmines, it was the armory as well, and it hasn't paid for itself. RunaMoK, of course, did keep 2 Widowmines alive, so we can dip in once again to maybe sneak out a little bit of damage later on when MightyKiwi is distracted. But yeah, again, a really interesting opener. At least this time, RunaMoK did follow up with a much faster 3rd CC, and he is looking to expand.
Yes, indeed, third base is coming down. Extra barracks coming to supplement as well. No SCVs being made just for the moment. Is he looking to add more production, or is he just... Okay, there we go, SCVs being going now. This Viking being very annoying. One of the advantages too of Vikings just going around and patrolling and killing off overlords, it does kind of open up the map a bit more for your bio play. If you're doing drops or multiple pressure, there's less overlords to catch wind. But actually, it looks like a huge... Is this even a counter-attack? You didn't even see the bio, but yeah, no, he's coming home now, and 1-1 about to finish for Mighty.
Yeah, the armies, they almost passed in the night here. We do have the double jump going to be forcing the Ling Bane to turn around and come back home. Baneling speed just now finishing up. And MightyKiwi, interestingly enough, you know, before, you know, fully saturating and then getting up to around the 66 drone mark, he's actually going for a relatively fast Hydra Den here.
He is indeed. Lingbane Hydra, so pretty cool style. Do you reckon that's more map dependent, or just kind of something he feels comfortable playing like?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like this is a pretty good map for it. Like, it is quite large and quite wide open. You can find your engagements. Oh my god! Oh, speaking of, the double jump gets completely cleaned up. RunaMoK was not looking.
He's not looking at all. Unfortunately, does lose his bio there. And his production is still yet to fully kick in. His economy is looking great. He's up to 66 workers, which is 16 more than the I was gonna say 16 more than the Zerg player, but David just lost another 9 drones to that. We don't mind in the natural, but yeah, RunaMoK's looking in an okay position now.
Yeah, the Widowmine drop did come back in towards the natural base. A lot of drones did go down. So MightyKiwi has been skipping out a lot on drones, but instead he's going to go for a little bit of a Ling run by here in towards the natural base. It looks like he will be able to get maybe a couple of CVs as the Lings actually get rallied behind the mineral line.
Yeah, it's interesting to see because MightyKiwi hasn't joined his 4th base yet. He actually just started 8 drones now, so I wasn't sure he was going to go for a timing. I wasn't too sure it was a good idea anyway, but yeah, expect RunaMoK, if he knows he's in a good economic position, is to play defensive with these tanks. You know, the triangle third is a bit more defensible than the vertical, or the horizontal one, excuse me. And yeah, just going to throw these drops out and just, I guess, tech up, get his infrastructure going, grab a 4th base, and he's looking pretty comfortable at the moment.
Yeah, he really is. Like, as you pointed out, MightyKiwi has been taking his time when it comes to saturating his bases. It almost feels like maybe he's been a little bit scared. Like, he's been playing like very safe, committing into his army, getting a lot more Lingbane Hydra than necessary. But he hasn't been really aggressive with it. You were talking about, like, did he want to hit a timing? Maybe, maybe not. It just felt like, I guess, he just wanted to make sure he had enough to repel any kind of force, and that did kind of slow himself down. Finally, he's got a decent drone count, but now is when RunaMoK is pushing out.
Yeah, now he's kind of like revealed, you know, right on the edge of creep. RunaMoK knows to be a bit careful, sees the edge of the creep too, so he can just crawl in. Actually, he's going to stint and jump on forward before splitting. I'm not the hugest fan of being this aggressive on creep. Like, wow, look how deep he's going in, and I don't know if this is a good idea at all.
Oh my god, he goes in all the way. The Banelings, we're trying to see a full surround here for MightyKiwi. Is it going to be enough? I just don't know if he has enough army supply. A lot of the Lingbane already going down.
Yeah, oof. Yeah, losing those Banelings to those Marines at the end, he might just not have had it enough, but I think, wow, RunaMoK, like, I didn't think it was a great idea going this deep, but it looks like he's going to be able to take the space out as well. MightyKiwi should eventually be able to consolidate and hold, but it seems that RunaMoK's going to grab a couple bases for his structures first, so he's sitting a drop into the main base.
Yeah, mate, the world is his oyster. He can do whatever he wants right now. It looks like he's going to be able to take down the base towards the top left. We do see the main army catching a couple of queens here in the middle of the map. The drop into the main base does get deflected. Oh, and it looks like RunaMoK, he doesn't go for the hatchery. He is going for the drones. Oh, he's going for both.
Yeah, I thought that was cute, kind of sending units into the main to kind of force MightyKiwi to respond there and then just pick him up and drop him at this fourth base as well. Sorry, this fifth base. Yeah, he's just pumping. The drones are going to get taken out as well. No bueno, papi.
No way. No, they come back a little bit too soon. 19 drones go down. The hatchery falls as well. 2 hatcheries in the blink of an eye. MightyKiwi is trying to get a standing army here. He's going for the Hail Mary play. He's going for Lair Tech Lunkers. But there's no way that he ever gets them out in time.
Yeah, not a bad idea considering how Marauder heavy RunaMoK is, but it's kind of a plan you want to go into when you're not already behind. RunaMoK's just going to push up here. Really good concave with the Hydras, and Marauders don't do bonus to them, but it's just not enough units. GG, and RunaMoK is going to take the lead in the series 2-1 and be 1 game away from being our second qualifier today.
GG, well played. Very well played there by RunaMoK. Had an interesting start to the game, going for the quadruple Widowmine drop that didn't really do much of any damage, but had a very solid macro getting into that big push in the mid game. And again, we saw MightyKiwi, I don't know if he was indecisive about whether he wanted to be aggressive or again was just playing like incredibly safe, like assuming that RunaMoK was going to be in his face earlier on. Yeah, like MightyKiwi's droning was very interesting.
The droning, and yeah, the graphs do represent that as well. He did have the resource collection rate advantage towards the end, but you know that you can be kind of like behind in your mining for like the whole game and then spike up at the very end to like 5 times your opponent's economy. But if your economy isn't running for all that much longer, it doesn't really matter. Something that a lot of you GAM kids out there need to realize. You need to know earlier you have workers, the better. So if you go to like 100 drones at the end of the game and lose, they don't really have a chance to pay off. Little coaching tip from me, the washed Zerg player. But yeah, we're going to be going into like game number 3 here. No, 4. 4, correct? Yeah, 4. Invite me, puppy. Invite myself. You're useless.
Let's get everyone in here.
Invite me first. Let me at him. Let me play him.
So yeah, it looks like the game is going to be on Inside and Out. RunaMoK 1 game away from qualifying. MightyKiwi a little bit up against the wall here. Oh boy, can he make the comeback happen?
We're going to find out like as we go into game number 4. Can MightyKiwi type the series, or will RunaMoK take the final qualifier spot 3-1?
Let's find out. Inside and Out, relatively small map, not a bad map to go for an early pool if if our Zerg player were to do that here, but we shall see as again we are getting into potentially the final game of the series.
And as it gets underway, spawning in the top right position, he is the Zerg player in the blue from New Zealand, currently teamless, representing Clan Root. It is MightyKiwi.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Inside and Out, we have the Australian Terran player himself. 1 game away from qualifying, it is RunaMoK. Oh boy.
Oh boy, indeed. Right. I do want to say, I hear quite a bit of stuff about this map. With exception to the huge pile of debris that kind of creates that choke point. Yeah, you know the one you're looking at right now.
Yeah.
It's not a bad map for Zerg, I want to say. Feel free to kind of correct me, because I know
I mean,
I'm dumb, but
it depends. Like, what's difficult about this map is that there aren't that many bases, so if we're talking about a late game scenario, it can get cut in half quite easily, and it can be difficult to take one of the other bases. From my understanding, like, because of these rocks, like, yeah, I don't know, like, there's definitely pros and cons to this map, to Inside and Out. I think I really... Oh, no, don't do it, Chase! No, not again. Oh my god, don't leave me. Chase. Oh my god, for the second...
What?
Chase!
I think I might just have to leave you for the finals. It just keeps cutting out.
Papi.
Merge.
Oh my god, it's okay, I can share my screen.
Sorry, everybody.
Yeah, again, thankfully, you know, nothing crazy was happening during the lag spike when you lagged out, but something that we all just saw is that, I don't know if the latency was involved, but RunaMoK did misplace his CC. He canceled it and then he rebuilt it.
Oh, was that like when I was disconnecting?
I don't know if it was related. I don't know. I'm not gonna confirm or deny.
Oh man.
But
you can just lift it up and down, right? It's no biggie.
Yeah.
Oh, he didn't cancel it, did he?
He did cancel it. He did cancel it.
Why did he cancel? Okay, never mind.
I don't, maybe it wasn't misplaced. Maybe he just canceled it by accident. Look, I don't know. Look.
It's not my fault. Like,
all I know is that nothing has died and he's lost 100 minerals. Okay, that's all I know. But alas, we do see something else happening here. Actually, as RunaMoK is going to slip into the main base, MightyKiwi is staying on 2 hatcheries and he's going for 2 base lair.
2 base lair, wow. He's getting Ling speed, so it looks like it could be Muta. Like, I don't know. Or a Ling Nidus? What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, the Reaper gets in and gets a full scout off, so the Reaper is fully aware of the lair play, and now RunaMoK has all the information he needs. Do we have any additional gas geysers? As we only have 1 gas, I have to believe that it's going to be for Nidus play, I guess? Question mark?
With the Banus. Yeah,
Oh
this is curious. We'll have to see. I just saw the replay of RunaMoK canceling the CC. Oh,
no, Smurf. Look, if it was related, then I'm sure he would have asked for like a remake or something. But meanwhile, we do see MightyKiwi taking a 3rd base behind this. He's taking his gas, but with this fast lair, maybe because he got scattered, he's not really doing anything with it. Oh my god!
Yeah. Oh. The Hellion run by coming in, and David's cooked his pants down. These drones getting surrounded. Oh my god! You're bunching up. It looks like that's value. When you're playing a 2 base opening as Zerg, you cannot let that damage unfold on you.
Yeah, exactly. 10 drones go down. Unfortunately, MightyKiwi was being really greedy. He was just trying to defend with nothing but queens. The Lings were not in position, and RunaMoK taking a very nice lead. On top of that, he also scouts the bases to see if there was a spire or the gas count, and he confirms that nothing was done with the lair as well.
Yeah, what is MightyKiwi doing here? It's kind of a bit of a strange game plan, I guess, from our Zerg player. There's Tonasu who roasts me in the stream chat too, but it looks like he's going to be going for a Bane bus.
Yeah, here we go. The Banelings are waddling on in. There is a tank, but it's not sieged on the high ground. The Banelings are going to crash into the natural.
Yeah, too, but there's only like 4 Zerglings to help to kind of help here, and now he's starting to drone, so I feel like this is just a game that MightyKiwi might be tilting a little bit.
Yeah, like I want to believe that, again, the lair, he did have a plan to do something with it, but because he got scouted, because the Reaper got in, he just completely switched gears. He's changing his mind, and I don't blame him for that. But upon losing the workers and upon losing these Banelings, like he is falling apart a little bit here.
Yeah, I do just have to say I feel a little less bad about the CC cancellation now.
You're
um,
equalizing. You're equalizing. You know, it's okay. It's
it's
okay.
equal now.
uh,
Yeah, RunaMoK, he's looking in a very strong position here. Don't count MightyKiwi out yet. You know, even if you're behind in upgrades or tech, Bane speed is the big important one that can really help out. But if RunaMoK's smart, he'll just play to his strength. He knows he's in a bit of an advantage. Just deny the creep, shave off some Zerglings here and now. Yeah, I think at the moment it's advantage RunaMoK, but still, even looking for worker count now. It's
yeah.
anyone's game.
I mean, MightyKiwi is going for a very interesting tech path. Very quickly, he's going for a Hydra Den. And because of how fast it was, I was like, ooh, does he want to go straight into Lurkers? Is he going to go for that? No, we do see Hydra range on the way. So he's going for Ling Bane Hydra once again. But again, just very fast Hydras.
Yeah, adding in Hydras, I'm not sure how I feel about this. It's always good having a Hydra backbone, but it's going to eat into your Ling Bane count, and what you kind of need in this position as a Zerg, you need a really good trade to get back into the game. Banelings are very explosive, you know, they just can flip a switch and do a lot of damage or not do much at all. Hydras, they're DPS over time, and what they do, you keep them alive, you gain value from keeping them there. MightyKiwi kind of needs the immediate value, so curious to see how he goes with the engagement. Of course, with good creep spread, and he can still get Banelings out himself. His worker count's healthy. He can, take that good fight. But really curious to see how this game unfolds.
Yeah, I am as well. Like, I 100% agree. Like, I'm not really convinced by investing into these Hydras this early on. I mean, he does take down the drop, which is nice, which he wouldn't have been able to do without those Hydras. But at the same time, a Viking drop into the main base, ooh, 4 drones are going to get picked off. At the same time, Liberator is slipping in towards the natural. No spores are ready. But I guess what we're lacking in spores, I guess we're making up for in Hydras.
Yeah, and actually, curious enough, even with the Hydra, even with the failed Bane Bust and the super fast Slayer, MightyKiwi's 2-2 is faster than RunaMoK's 1-1. So, some good harassment here by RunaMoK, taxing the APM of the Zerg player, and he's going to be doing a slight reroute here. Remember, these little, as long as there's metabacks, oh, nice little Widowmine drop too. These little scout, even though there's not a lot of potent force in these small marine pushes, you can always escape and get away, as we've seen them do many times.
Oh,
does get drones.
Yeah, we have a tri-pronged attack here. You know, we have those Wood Iron Shots. We have the Liberator that is still alive, by the way, just wreaking havoc in the natural base. Drop goes from the triangular third straight into the main base. Overlord is going to go down. A couple of Queens as well. Like, RunaMoK is finding damage.
He is indeed, and the supply is actually starting to climb up now. 11 drones going down. MightyKiwi has been pushed back down to 63 from 74 drones. And still, the thing is, like, these units, they're still, the Liberator's still around, the Medac's still around, the Widowmine's been still burrowed underneath, and while he's scrambling to defend all this harassment with his Queens, the creep spread's been delayed, and RunaMoK's going to move that now again.
Yeah, exactly. Meanwhile, that drop still hasn't been dealt with. He goes towards the triangular third. The main army is pushing through the center of the map. RunaMoK is not slowing down anytime soon, and MightyKiwi, again, is having a hard time dealing with the harassment, let alone the main army.
Indeed, and these Queens does not want to lose these Queens. They're really important. Well, any unit's important in this kind of situation, but MightyKiwi, his work count is starting to drop down. He's going to get one of these Medavacs. Meanwhile, push at the top, and these Hydras are going to have to come into play. There's some Marauders too to soak up some damage from the Banes. You need to move command north of the Banelings. Actually, pretty reasonable cleanup. Ooh, except those 2 Widowmine hits.
Oh, exactly. We did see for a moment that RunaMoK was worried that the Widowmines were too bunched up, so he was trying to unburrow and split them up, but he couldn't in time. But the Widowmine shots were pretty decent nonetheless. Meanwhile, this hatchery, no mining whatsoever, already at less than half HP. The hatchery will survive, but it will be weakened up, softened up for a follow-up drop.
Yeah, and MightyKiwi is just on the back foot, and every time he loses a drone, because he's being pushed, kind of pulled apart, RunaMoK's economy is being preserved, it's been untouched, just because he's putting so much pressure on his opponent. This is actually an 8-rack select. Can you check how many barracks he has?
Yeah, we have 8 Raxes in total, but a 4th CC is behind this as well, so we've got a lot of bio right now. We do have a drop into the main base. We do have the main army once again pushing towards that softened up triangular third.
And it is going to go down, unfortunately, for MightyKiwi. He can't kind of deal with the the multi-prong going on here without meters. Every time he kind of forces a Terran back somewhere, RunaMoK just picks up and drops elsewhere, and the Hydras have to go all the way around his only approach to the anti-air. And again, RunaMoK is expanding behind it. It's just, I mean, it's just, yeah, he's playing this phenomenally.
Yeah, again, it's just beautiful play here from RunaMoK. We do see MightyKiwi getting a scout on that 4th base. And even though RunaMoK was fighting with an upgrade deficit, this entire time we've had 2-2 done for MightyKiwi, and RunaMoK's been fighting with 1-1. 2-2 is finally finishing up for our Terran player. He can finally equalize, and now these fights are going to go even better for the Terran.
They will indeed. Ian, is that Ghost Cloak? Oh, it's not Banshee Cloak, but
Ghost, yeah.
tab is it? Okay, wow, Ghost. Yeah, RunaMoK, he's setting up for the late game, which, to be honest, he doesn't even really need to, considering that MightyKiwi is just struggling to get by in the mid game here. But now we do see a little bit more stabilization for MightyKiwi, but still he's working out as much too low. He's making some extra workers now, but 3 base against 4 base when Zerg hasn't even got their 4th finish. It's a tough position for any Zerg player, mate.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, RunaMoK is just eclipsing MightyKiwi in the supplies right now. Decent Bailey connections. Widowmine shots do get dragged into the Terran army, forcing some friendly fire. No. But at the same time, MightyKiwi, he just can't get a 4th up.
Puppy, the 4th base is gonna go down, unfortunately. MightyKiwi, you know, he needs to kind of drop 2 bases at once to kind of ensure that one of them gets up, but he can't drop 2 bases at once because it spreads himself even more thin than he is already now, and he's struggling. Yeah, I think RunaMoK is playing with masterclass here.
Really is. I mean, we did see some pretty good Bailey connections on the right-hand side. MightyKiwi was able to clean up the army, and it looks like there isn't enough supply here for RunaMoK to really stay much longer, maybe even overextending a little bit. So MightyKiwi, he holds on, but as you were saying, he needs more bases. He needs to double expand. He needs a hatchery sooner rather than later because he's just running out of steam.
Running out of steam, indeed.
He's running through the minefield. No. No!
Oh, no, not the minefield.
No.
I will say though, like, the good thing is, you know, that the Hydras have stuck around since he made them. So,
yeah.
So I guess he has got value in that regard.
He's got some value, Copium. He's got a Lurker Den on the way, but you know what? The Bio Army sims on forward. The Bailey's finish up just in time, but not before a lot of the Hydras were already focused down, and GG gets called.
GG is well played. Grats called by MightyKiwi. GG well played. Giving it back to RunaMoK, and he's going to take the series in the final qualifying spot. 3-2-1. Congratulations.
Oh, GG well played. Congratulations to RunaMoK. He had quite a showing at PAX Australia, and even here in these qualifiers, he had to go all the way. He had to go the distance all the way to the final qualifying match possible here for ANZ Champs, but he makes it to the main event.
That he does indeed. And you know who doesn't make it to the main event? Any Zerg players. I am immune to Zerg wine in the Discord. At least 3 years now. But yeah, no, RunaMoK, that was a very, very strong game. He had the momentum, even after you can't see CC at the start. And MightyKiwi just wasn't, you know, once he got a little bit behind, he just didn't have the momentum to kind of keep up the multi-prong. He was forced to kind of whole army at times to defend 1 or 2 places, and then be a 3rd harassment, 3rd drop coming into to even, you know, increase the advantage there for RunaMoK. It was just a tough game for our Zerg player.
Yeah, I was really impressed by the tri-pronged attacks from RunaMoK. Like, time and time again, he'd have like a Liberator, he'd have like Widowmine drops coming in, he'd have a drop in the main, he'd have the main push towards the 3rd or 4th. Like, he was all over the place. Very, very impressive TvZ on display by RunaMoK. But it was like a rough start from MightyKiwi, you know, like, as a reminder, he did go for a 2-base lair, and he got scouted, so like he didn't, again, it was just a lot of wasted resources, a later 3rd base, and that all just kind of snowballed and added up into the mid game. And yeah, the decision to go into a faster Hydrogen as well, like MightyKiwi's economy was really struggling to really get in, to really get up and running, to be able to maintain a proper army in the mid game. And oh boy, the counterattacks didn't help. the harassment didn't help. Oh boy.
No, yeah, and also the fact that RunaMoK's economy was virtually untouched the entire game. Because MightyKiwi was just so much on the back foot. So a perfect kind of example of the best defense being a really good offense there. That was on display.
Yeah. Very, very well done by RunaMoK. And he is the final player to qualify for ANZ Champs Season 2. Oh my god. The Terrans and Protoss's are real. Unfortunately, there will be 0 Zerg players as a part of the main event. Oh god, it just happened to line up that a lot of the top tier Zerg players in our region just didn't happen to be available. MightyKiwi fought his heart out. He made it all the way to a qualifying match. He did so well this weekend, but there's only so much that he can do on his own. You know, he didn't have the support of his other Zerg brethren. You know, Peppy failed him today. He wasn't here. You know, Chappie's off across the ocean in Japan. Oreo's, you know, with his head in a book studying for some exams. Like, God. Oh, God. Yeah.
Chase, the best Zerg of all.
Chase is doing social medias and casting
doing
like an
social
animal.
media for the event. The one tournament where I think I can leave these guys to do it themselves.
I know.
Doesn't.
Smooch, puppy smooch. But I also don't want to take away from any of the qualified players because they all did incredibly well. Like, shout out to Seether, Starduck, Sephiron, and RunaMoK. All 4 very talented players going to be making it through to ANZ Champs.
Yeah, can't wait. ANZ Champs always a fun events. It's going to be fun to see. And having a couple of new faces, like Sephiron has been a pretty high tier player in the region for quite a while. Streams quite a bit. Generally, he just doesn't start this tournaments or doesn't play in them. It's cool to see what he can bring. You know, a bit of Protossy flavor to a bit of what's the word? Diversity. But I am with you, like it wouldn't be as diverse as having, you know, a third race in the game. That would be the ultimate diversity. So
you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Oh god, but regardless, it is going to be a great event nonetheless. I'm going to have a lot of fun poking and prodding about balance, about the lack of Zerg. It's going to be great. It's going to be good fun. But yeah, a lot of very strong players, and I mean, I guess that these players, they have the added advantage not to worry about one of their matchups that could potentially be a weaker one. I'm thinking specifically of Azure. I know for a while people think that maybe Azure has like a mental block against Zerg in the TvZ matchup, and now he doesn't have to worry about it. You know, he's fine. Yeah,
he doesn't have to worry about it, but you can. Yeah, it's it could even elevate the level of the games we see, as players don't have to worry about preparing for a certain matchup. They just have to worry about TVP, PvP, TVT. Sorry for you, Light, because if you are casting at PvP and TVT, we've had a lot of, and it's mirrors are always a bit hard to keep fresh after you have like 2 best of 5s in a row. But yeah, you did a great job casting today. Thanks for inviting me on.
Yeah, thank you for
the views.
Thank you for joining me, Chase. Thank you for joining me. And I will say, I never get tired of PvP. Okay, PvP is always a lot of fun.
Copium.
No copium, puppy. No copium. It's always great fun. I love PvP. Hopefully, I get more of it. We'll see. Also, fun fact. Because there aren't any Zerg players, Pez. Hey, we could be seeing some TvZ in the group stage. Just saying, like it's possible. It's possible.
No, we'll actually see we'll see Zez come to fruition.
Oh, let's go, Zez, the Zerg hero we needed, puppy. Let's go.
I mean, it's the perfect premise, right? Because he just comes. Who cares if he loses all these games? He can say, "I'm the only Zerg to qualify."
Yeah,
Zerg's easy race. It's my 3rd off race.
Yeah, he could make the claim, "I'm the best Zerg player in ANZ." That's how I'm the only one here. Oh my god. So regardless, thank you so much everyone in the chat for joining us here today for the broadcast. Just quickly throwing down, just finishing up those predictions. And I hope everyone had a great time. We did have 2 back-to-back qualifiers, one yesterday, one today. A lot of great matches. I recommend checking out some of the VODs if you're interested. Of course, the VODs are all available on Twitch. Soon they're going to be on YouTube as well. And Chase, why don't you let the people know a little bit about yourself? the Australian Zerg cowboy that you are?
I am a washed Zerg player who holds on to remnants of glory days of my top 16 finish WCS 2015 winter.
Like,
I
I'm never
streamed.
gonna forget. It was at 8
Dude,
p.m.
I was one game away from beating Ender. I would have got 8th. But yeah, no, I stream once every 6 months. Chase_SC2. And yeah. Light, the more interesting of the duo. What can we know about you?
Check out Chase. He's a great guy, and he streams more often than once every 6 months. He streams like once every like 2 weeks. Okay, so just check him out.
What? Put pressure on me now.
But you can follow me at Light_VIP on Twitch and Twitter. I do stream throughout the week. I try and stream on a daily basis, but I have been quite busy casting here on the CranKy Ducklings, so my stream hasn't been live for 24 hours, Smurge, or 2 days. But yeah, you can follow me there if you're interested in some Zerg ladder gameplay. It's not the highest of level. We do Smurge. We do lose to Terran, but we have fun and we enjoy ourselves and we listen to some fancy music. So yeah, if you're interested, you can follow me there. Otherwise, if you're only interested in our StarCraft casting, then follow us here on the CranKy Ducklings. We're on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Discord. We are on all the social media, so you can follow us, and we will announce when we go live. Otherwise, join our Discord server if you want to interact with us outside of the games. And our next broadcast is going to be, I believe, in 7.5 hours. In 7.5 hours, I'm going to be back. I'm going to be casting with Asher. We're going to be casting OSC King of the Hill. I know that World Team League is going to be happening at the same time, and usually we cast World Team League, but OSC King of the Hill, we're committed to casting that, and it happens to be overlapping with WTL, so yeah, we have to cast that instead. We have our obligations, but if you do want to watch World Team League, that will be covered by Wardy, so plenty of StarCraft going on tonight. Just multi-twitch it up, you know, have multiple streams open, and enjoy it all. Just enjoy everything.
Enjoy everything, like life is fleeting. Everything's gonna blow up soon. I mean,
Chase,
not soon.
Chase,
I mean,
what are
in
you
like
saying?
10 trillion years, the sun's gonna implode.
Are you making a threat?
Spend
Are
your
you like,
time.
it's gonna blow up soon?
I've got the
Watch
sun
out.
right now. I mean, you know, we're only here a short time. Don't feel afraid, guys, to enjoy yourselves. Take some time. And yeah, sorry, like, this is why I don't cast anymore.
I'm like, what are you saying? Where are you
Enjoy
going?
your fleeting time
What are you saying?
on this planet. Like,
Oh my god. You only have a week left. Oh god.
oh no.
Yes, everyone enjoy yourselves. Enjoy yourselves, you know, watch some StarCraft, support StarCraft where you can. Again, we'll be back in 7.5 hours. Until then, thank you so much, everyone, for watching. Thank you so much for the support. Chase, do you have anything you want to say before we head off for the afternoon?
Yes, I do. Normally Kuro is doing production. Today, Light's been casting a lot by himself and doing the production and everything between, including dealing with my technical issues. Light, I hope you enjoy yourself while your time at work is fleeting. Enjoy. But no, thank you guys for tuning in. It's always fun seeing you guys chat. Even if you don't chat, just come and hang with us. We do enjoy having you guys around. Thanks again to Asher for casting earlier on. I think he cast a little bit, right? Then he had to play. He cast yesterday.
He casted yesterday, yeah. He casted yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday. So, we appreciate you all. We love you guys. We're glad StarDuckage, or Light's glad StarDuckage moved on. Not moved on from this earth, moved on to the qualifier.
Why are you so morbid?
I'm so bad.
Why do you keep...
We played that mortuary assistant game. Let's thank you guys, and yeah, stick around. Well, not stick around because the next cast is 7 hours. Maybe go away, then come back and stick around in 7 hours. There we go.
Thanks for watching, everyone. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys later tonight. ANZ Champs Day 1 is tomorrow, by the way. We're getting straight into it. Monday and Tuesday will be Group A, I believe. Group A or Group B. I'm sure Tonasa will explain or can elaborate in the chat, but I believe it is Group A. So enjoy ANZ Champs. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be beautiful, and we will see you guys next time.
Bye-bye.